everyone, my name is Paul and I'm here to show you the Twisted Boxes command in Pufferfish for Grasshopper. So what we're going to do with it is we're going to turn this mesh of this cow over here into a group of boxes in the shape of the cow. To start off, we need a bounding box around the cow, and it is a closed mesh. It has to be a closed mesh, by the way. That will control the access of the boxes that the cow will turn into. And if we want to rotate the boxes, we need to come over here and be able to rotate the axis of our bounding box. So, to start off, I put in this rotation command and put an XY plane into the geometry portion of that command. Next, you need to add a number slider and change the angle to degrees and connect the number slider to the angle so that you can rotate the box. And you want to be able to have the number slider go to 90 degrees so that you can rotate it all the way around. And then lastly, you have to add a unit vector to the axis portion of the rotation command so that it knows which way to rotate. And you notice I did this 3 times, each with a different unit vector, so that the boxes can rotate different directions. So this number slider will rotate it this way, and this number slider will rotate it this way. I'm going to leave everything at 0, 0, 0, but if I wanted to go back and change it later, I would be able to and rotate the boxes different directions and change the form of the cow later on. So, next, we put everything into the Twisted Boxes command. And that looks like this. So it turns everything into a grid of boxes. But there's no way to change it right now. But what you can do is you could take a range and set that into the parameters X, Y, and Z and add a number slider to it, and it will change the number of boxes that you have. And if you'll notice, I have all this down here, and the ranges are not connected for the Y and Z command, Y and Z portions of it. Because if I was to go connect this number slider to it, it would do that number of boxes, and the boxes wouldn't be equal. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and make all the boxes equal. And to do that, you need to take the deconstruct brep command from your bounding box and put it into the list. And the list starts off with this I and this +1. And that will get you your X and Y numbers. And it looks like this. So there's these 3 lines here. So your X and your Y are what you start with. But if I were to keep going around, if I were to add like a +2, +3, +4, whatever, it would just keep going around the box at the bottom and then start to go to the other edges. But we want just the Z command. So what we can do is we can go to the -1 and run that into our Z, and it will give us this line over here, and we have all 3 axes with just 3 components. Next, we want to take the X, or the Z and the Y, and divide them by the X. And then multiply that by the result of that by the resolution that we want. And then we connect those into separate ranges, into the steps part of the range. And what that does is allows all the boxes to be not completely equal, but relatively equal, so they look about the same whenever we adjust this. So that our cow will have equal boxes the whole time. And we put all of those in the X, Y, and Z parameters. Now, this just gives us a box full of boxes. That does us no good. That's not what we want. But what we do want is to use this mesh boolean twisted boxes. And what that does is it removes the twisted boxes that are not a part of our mesh. So, let's enable that real quick and you can see it. And then hide this. Oh, then I gotta show. So our twisted boxes are now in this shape. And what you do to use this command is you take your original mesh all the way back over here, and you plug it into the meshes part of the mesh boolean twisted boxes, and you add a number slider. And this is the keep type. So what that means is it shows how well you want to have the boxes form to your shape. So 0 doesn't really, I think if I hide this, 0 is right there. It doesn't really form to all the edges. And then 2 will allow the boxes to get outside of the original shape so that you get a better end result. And I'm going to change the resolution here so we get a better shape as well. Oh, a little slow. Hold on. There we go. So there's our cow. And it's going to take a minute. Alright. And then what I can do with this is if I want to make, like, let's say I want to make it more of a thicker frame structure, like for example using Weaverbird's picture frame, I would have to turn this into a B-rep. And it also allows it to be a solid thing, so you could have the block cow become a solid object. And then I would plug it into Weaverbird's mesh tool, and we'll enable that. And enable Weaverbird's picture frame tool, and it turns it into, hold on, it's a little slow. Hide this real quick. Show this. Alright, so that's what the mesh tool turns it into right here. All this kind of almost let's hide this again real quick. So this Weaverbird mesh tool turns into these other boxes that makes it compatible with Weaverbird. I'll hide that and show this. And we have our picture frames, and now it's a structure that could be used in architecture or something else like that if you were to need to make the frameworks or something. And that's what makes this tool useful. Alright, thanks everybody. Goodbye.